Welcome, everybody. I'm excited for today's conversation. Today, I am speaking with Jonathan Rodriguez, founder of The Search Specialists. They are a Utah-based agency focused on helping businesses dominate in local search. Something that really stood out to me in Jonathan's background is his dedication to data-backed SEO strategies and really breaking things down into digestible, actionable phases. The clarity around your audit, execute, scale process is something a lot of agencies can learn from. We'll touch on that today. Jonathan, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. It's nice to speak with you and learn from you and other people,
Yeah.
on your podcast.
Sounds like a plan. So I did want to ask you to start off, has your agency's like core scope or services evolved in the last 12 to 18 months? I mean, agencies are kind of always evolving. I'm wondering if you added anything to what you do for clients over the last year.
What I do for clients, I've been doing the same thing as I usually do, just get them try to get them to the first page of Google, and try to offer them a little bit more maybe than they signed up for to help with retention, go the extra mile, under promise and over deliver. People get really happy for the agency. I've started going into different niches that I'm typically not used to, just kind of out of necessity. I think we spoke actually before about working with a lot of cleaning companies. I just made a name for myself in that niche accidentally because I used to own a cleaning company. Long story short, there are other niches that I could pay more and gain more out of what I do. So I'm focusing myself more on creating niche websites that are focusing like SEO in those particular niches. And that's the biggest shift I've had so far.
Okay.
Going for niches and trying to be seen as an expert by creating microsites that promote that perception. So,
Okay. I'm going to dig in a little because I've done similar things. When you say a microsite or a niche site, are you presenting your agency's services in specific to an industry? Or do you mean like, oh, I'm going to get a website ranked, I'm going to generate leads, and like a rank and rent type situation?
oh, good question. No, I've tried that before. I've done that before, necessarily successfully because people don't know how to take care of those sites. More like a micro niche. I'm the search specialist, right? But if I've created some websites that are specifically designed for particular niches, let's just say, which I'm not in, let's just say it's like the search specialist, what I have now, I would call, say I went into roofing,
Mhm.
or try to target roofers, which a lot of people do, and there's a lot of money in that. I'd call the roofing SEO specialists and build a whole site about one particular thing and then try to promote that. And so whether you do it through pay-per-click or SEO, as you well know,
Mhm.
it's kind of gives you the perception that you are an authority in the industry. And I think that people don't, especially business owners, don't quite understand that we're authorities in most industries because they're just keywords. If you can show another business owner as a potential customer that you can speak their language and know the type of roofing jobs, they see that as, oh, this guy understands my industry. So that's been helpful to focus on that rather than being a generalist agency,
Yeah.
even though that is easier to advertise for, I think, be a generalist agency. So nothing wrong with that, though.
Yeah, no, I get it. I mean, it's true, right? I mean, who makes more money, the brain surgeon or the general practitioner? It's the brain surgeon every time. That specialty has a higher perceived value, even if it's all the same stuff. Whether I'm doing this for a roofer, fat guy, or a plumber, it's essentially all the same stuff. I think business owners value when you can speak their language. That's a smart play. I hope building those websites works out.
I'm trying to find a niche markets that people don't think about. I'm not doing this now, but as an interesting thing, I used to work with somebody who somehow got involved with a midwife. And
Okay.
I guess midwives make a ton of money. She paid the whole year up front because they make a lot of money. I
Wow.
didn't, which is kind of crazy. It's those types of niches that really interest me and inspire me to, when I get an idea in my head, I'm like, let me check that out. That's something that I think would be kind of cool to, I don't know how to target midwives necessarily, but, or midwife SEO if people are looking for that. But she paid $25,000 up front. So kind of cool.
That'll help the cash flow for sure. That's a good client to lend.
Yeah.
So I did see on your LinkedIn, and I mentioned it in the introduction, that you really take this audit execution scale process with your clients. Is that something you had from the start, or did that crystallize over time? Was there a moment where that model took shape?
I'm not quite sure what you're talking about. I'm sure there's some information on my LinkedIn about that. I was looking for that, I guess, an article about that, and I don't really see that. However, audit execution scale I think it's great because you have to audit that site no matter what. You have to look at it and say, okay, what's wrong with it? What's missing? It's really fast for us to audit visually, not even using, tools. You can see, I mean, you've done this long enough. You can look at a site and be like, it's missing this, it's missing that, needs this, needs that. So that audit is important. And then execution, when you work hard for the first 30 days, put your mind to it and make it a priority, people see that value right away. The execution part should happen, as soon as possible. There are people who do I forgot what they call it, like 90-day something or other. I forgot the word for it, but they'll do like a lot of work in the first 90 days. I try to get everything I can done in the first 30. As an example, there's a client I just started working with. I just signed him up, and he is in Delaware in the cleaning industry. I've been lucky to have his referrals and survive off that. He wants to show up in his city and multiple cities around the area, also multiple commercial cleaning service keywords. Execution is important because he kind of let me know, since he's going through some personal issues, that this needs to work in the first, several months. I've got to execute fast for him. So that's good. And then I think you said scale.
Yep.
And I believe that's part of scaling also, is scaling, the amount of keywords this person has, the cities that he's ranking in, also the services that he's offering. I think it all comes together with that audit, see what's wrong, what needs to be done, and then delegate tasks. Personally, what I do is create these pages, maybe one or two, and train my VA. Even if she's already done it before, I'll go ahead and do a Loom video. I'll say, hey, I need you to do this, this, and this. She's a good worker, so she's able to help me scale. Anybody who does not have a VA or is a one-man show that has maybe people here, experts here doing this and that and the other, but working from home, having somebody to help you scale is a game changer.
100%. Couldn't agree more. That's something that I've dove into, let's say about a month ago, and it's changing my life.
Great.
You mentioned you got this new business in Delaware. You have these niche websites. I'm sure you get a ton of referrals. I've seen the testimonials on your website. You got great testimonials. People are seeing great results. How are you growing the business now? Is it several different methods? I mean, obviously you want referrals to come in and close those. Or is it primarily through the niche websites? Are you doing any outbound? Is it being on podcasts? How are you growing the business these days?
It's all been referrals. I'm working on these niche sites now, and I'm getting them to get more traffic and starting to talk to more people.
Yep.
I've done many things. I've tried and worked with, somewhat successfully, things like cold email. Some of the things that are kind of popular right now. But I just, for some reason, I don't know why, but when I need a new client, they just kind of show up. And I was asked to speak at a conference for a software company called ZenMaid. They do house cleaning and maid service software for the business owner. It's really cool. People can check in, and the business owner can see when they're at the location and how long they've been there. There's even a panic button. They asked me to speak at their conference several years ago, and I do it every year. So that's been helpful to get my name out there. People know who I am, but that's not enough yet. Working with cold email was generating leads. My biggest problem was, even though it works well, getting a setter to call them and then getting a closer. Finding the setter was the hardest part for me. Now I'm moving more toward paid ads and SEO to get targeted traffic. SEO takes a while, especially when you're an SEO company, competing against your peers who are likely good at what they do. I've just been really grateful to have referrals, and you'd be surprised, but for the past, I don't know, for 10 years, 10 years, it's all been paid $0. Besides the cold outreach, and learning, from other people. It's $0 to acquire a client. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, I think that's fantastic. Obviously, your clients are really happy. They want to refer you to their friends and other business owners. So I think that's a home run. You emphasize long-term growth, right? What do you do to keep those clients retained, keep them happy, and get them to refer you out?
Oh, good. Evangelize me. I like that. I like the word. Yeah, I go the extra mile for people. All of my colleagues, some we may know mutually, they're like, don't give anything away for free, charge them more and blah, blah, blah. I find that if I've got a client for 6 months, 9 months, a year, and they're cool and they pay on time and there's no problems, I'll say, listen, we're cool. I like you. There's some holes. I can offer you the upgrade you didn't take in the beginning. I want to help you grow. They're already happy. So I'll do more work for them as time goes on because this is my job for them. I'm their marketing guy. I know I have my own business and I'm not working directly for them. I kind of am, I don't have, one boss. I have dozens. I try to make sure that my bosses are happy. So I will, as far as retention goes and keeping them happy and getting them to, like you said, evangelize me. I'll say, hey, I'll do this for you, but we go into some of these groups that we're mutually in and just let people know, your experience and how it's been. Because, it looks like you went from down here to an average position of 100. Now you're in an average position of 3. Has it been working out for you? Oh yeah, it's been really great. Can you do that for me? Give me a shout out. Then more people will be interested. That's how I over deliver to the cool people, the ones that are nice, not the pains in the butt, but also help get my name out there even more. Testimonials from their peers.
Are you involved in a lot of marketing or cleaning groups on Facebook or LinkedIn?
It's a lot of cleaning groups. I think people are probably sick of me because my name is out there. There's only a few of us who really specialize in that because we're in that orbit. I think I was mentioning before, I owned a cleaning company long ago. A friend told me it'd be great if she made some extra money, and she was older than me. I said, what have you done? I do SEO. Maybe I can help you get on the first page of Google. She said she'd cleaned for Mary Maids and Maid Pro on and off for 20 years. I said, hey, you just start a cleaning company and I'll help you. Talked about it forever. She took no action. I started thinking, this could work. We ended up owning it with somebody else. After that was kind of ran its course, somebody messaged me and said, hey, someone's asking a question in this group about SEO for the cleaning company. Do you join this group and answer? Maybe you can get a client. I did that and it cascaded from there. So that's kind of how all that went. But I just know that, as all of us are looking to increase, clients and increase, revenue, that industry has a cap. I have clients who do revenue in the millions, which is great. But, there's other niches out there that their profit's much higher, in that if it was millions, so. Right. Moving away from that as my target, although those people are always welcome in my life.
Yeah, that makes sense. In the SEO space, SEOs and marketers are trying to get equity in companies in order to, do their skill set for them. It sounds like that's kind of how you started. You were the business partner and you were like, hey, I can get us the jobs. I just need you to go do them.
That's kind of how it happened, which is really, I've heard about that equity model and I don't know a lot about it and how to negotiate that. I feel like that one would have to be at a certain level of comfortability monetarily. Let's say, okay, let's go ahead. I'll do all this work for free. I've actually done that before with a few people and it's not really worked out for me. So I would love to learn from one of your guests or yourself about how that works. And so I'm looking forward to digging into your podcast and see if anybody has any jewels of information about that.
Absolutely. Actually, you just gave me an idea. I need to interview somebody who's getting those equity deals. So I'm going to ask him to come on the show. I think that will be something we'd all be really interested in.
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah. Heck yeah.
All right. Very cool. So what you're seeing now in the world of local SEO, you mentioned earlier that your services have pretty much stayed the same, just really trying to get people on that first page. The first page has definitely changed a lot over the last few years. So I know now we have LSAs, we have the Google Maps listings that you have to worry about. There's a lot going on that first page of Google. Is there anything that you're paying attention to, any moves that you see coming down the pipe, say maybe 6 months from now that business owners and SEOs should really be paying attention to?
That's a good question because I think a lot of people are worried, not worried, they're interested about AI and how that's going to impact SEO. And I've been doing a lot of research about it and learning a lot about it to see, how that's going to change the way people search. And I've seen things online where it says SEO is dead. No one's going to use
that for 15 years. Yeah.
I know, me too, man. I've been hearing it forever. It's not never dead. I mean, Google Maps will always be there. The organic listings will always be there. But what's coming up above that are snippets. If I type in who are the best house cleaners in Salt Lake City, so I'll put in something like that, and then it'll show up, and then I'll go ahead and do it again, and it won't. I'll try it in a different state, it won't show up. A different city, it won't show up. Do another search, it'll show up, and then it's gone. Google's constantly testing. A lot of people are asking about these large language models and how they impact search. And so there are some people I've run into who've said, "Oh, I just use ChatGPT now for everything." So I don't Google, I keep calling it that. I went into ChatGPT and I said, "Hey," because I was doing a talk yesterday for the American House Cleaners Association, because again, they're my orbit. And I was looking into, I used ChatGPT and I said, "Who are the best house cleaners in Salt Lake City?" And it gave me 5 answers. And so I wrote back and I said, "What qualifiers are you using I should pull it up here now. What qualifiers are you using to determine this? Because I want to know what it thinks, you know what I mean, are those qualifiers so I can make sure that we're doing that for our clients." This is what it said: public reviews and ratings, which are really important. Google, Yelp, positive reviews within the past 6 to 12 months, generally 4.5 stars or above. That was number one. And the volume of reviews, that's what it's showing as the number one qualifier are those reviews and ratings. And I always tell my clients, get reviews. Sometimes they don't care. That's fine. But it also said Reddit and local forum recommendations. I just kind of started using Reddit recently, actually, for the first time. And there's a lot of people who are discussing things like, in their towns, like mine would be r/Salt Lake City, and people ask about the best cleaning company. It's mentioned in that forum, that's helpful as a backlink. I've noticed these Reddit forums are showing up on the first page of Google a lot more now.
Oh yeah. Google's relying on Reddit a lot, it seems like.
Yeah, and there's people who specialize in helping bump that up for you on Fiverr who specialize in that sort of thing. That's something I'll be looking into and utilizing. He was saying also to offer clear descriptions, allow online quotes and bookings, helpful for service area businesses, gaining traction. Using photos or bios of the cleaning staff is interesting. Only two more: service range, where you are actually servicing, and what you specialize in, like deep cleanings, move out cleans, and eco-friendly cleans. And the last part, was talking about, aggregator sites and, basically like being in like those directories and 200 different business directories
Citations.
that people don't really search for. So I thought that was interesting to share because, if people are searching for services, in ChatGPT and other models, that's what it's going by, is us doing our jobs and staying on the cutting edge. So that's kind of a helpful explanation that I've been looking into more when people have those questions for us as SEO agency owners, that we have the detailed response. Anyone's listening right now, get into ChatGPT, prompt it with the same thing, and it'll give you a whole list.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'm definitely going to do that. It's interesting because what was old is new again, right? A lot of that stuff it mentioned, especially at the top of the list, is fundamental SEO stuff we've been telling people for 10 plus years. Now that these LLMs are getting into the game, they're kind of like relying on some of those old fundamentals as well. But there's a lot of new, neat stuff in there too. I would never have thought of headshots and bios really being something that ChatGPT would take into account. But clearly, you should have those on your website. A good about us page. You want to be clear and transparent and all of that. So it's interesting, very interesting.
I thought so too. Yeah, I was pretty shocked. I just discovered this yesterday. So it's new information.
Very cool. Any other ways you're seeing AI affect the space? If not today, maybe a year from now, do you think that there are any AI tools out there that businesses should be looking at? Or do they really just need to be aware of, hey, people are starting to use these LLMs. You need to think about how you show up in them.
Yeah, no, I think what you said is correct. People are starting to use them and figure out how you show up in them. I use them and I'm trying to study them as much as possible. Become a prompt engineer is what they call it, is being able to write those great prompts because, I think for us also creating, as SEO people, creating great content faster is important. I think all of us maybe have had a content writer back in the day who helped us out and we paid money to, but now we have this to make sure we're writing content well. That comes with being able to engineer better prompts. Google's now, detecting AI content. And so one of the things I even asked, ChatGPT, who I feel like is a friend at this point, because he uses it so much, is I asked it, do you know of Google using methods to detect AI content? Yes or no? Yes. And I went all the way down to, okay, great. So get me a prompt that's going to help defeat that. So that's kind of cool, I think, for us
Mhm.
as tools to think ahead, prompt engineering, and staying on the edge of it. But I don't really believe and feel that, a lot of clients that I've had now or before, are really worried about it so much. And if they are, I always just tell them, doing great SEO and being really, really relevant, and then plus some of these little tips and tricks we just learned about today, will help you succeed in that. You can't guarantee they're going to pick you, but you do the best you can to help, get them to where they need to be. So I haven't heard anybody panic yet or demand that I'm an expert at this because everybody I think knows it's very new.
We're all trying to figure it out. Google's trying to figure it out. They want to make sure they don't kill their cash cow because this is how they make all their money. But they also need to make sure that they're providing an experience people want to come back to. They're trying to find that balance between what does the user want and how do we still serve ads, right? So if they're still figuring it out, that means we're all still figuring it out.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. So I really appreciate the time and sharing your experience and your expertise today, Jonathan. It's been awesome chatting with you. Where can people find you online?
My website's called The Search Specialists. It's plural with an S. You can Google my name and SEO or the letters SEO, and you'll see my LinkedIn. Other things come up. If they want to have a meeting of the minds, I'd be happy to help and brainstorm.
Awesome.
Great. Thanks a lot, Brian. I really appreciate it.
All right. Thank you, Jonathan. Have a great one.